from Japan, and working the clock, Ashley Makola from South Africa. So despite a bit of rain, which has let up just a bit here, we got an earlier game in. It was no problem with Dominican Republic handling India 15-0, that in 5 innings. Japan a convincing win over Turkey. So Argentina and Hong Kong on the go right now as we speak. We will get you a score when we can. And this one about to get underway. Make sure you stay tuned here on Sports Canada TV. Full slate of action today, of course, rain dependent. When you look ahead, it's South Africa that's going to be taking on Australia, Czech Republic, Venezuela, Great Britain, New Zealand, and one that is always of epic proportions, Canada will be taking on the United States, that in tonight's finale. So we're about ready here. Diamonds don't look too bad, Chopper. When you figure the rain and some of the maintenance work that they've done, it looks pretty good, and the teams appear to be ready to go here.
Yeah, they've done a fantastic job out there, but yeah, without a doubt, it was a bit cooler today. It's 12 degrees, and back home in Botswana, it's 26 at 27 at this time of the year, so it's a little cooler. I see them all got undershirts out there, most of the players. It'll be interesting to see how they perform in the cooler weather.
You're right, definitely may be a factor here as Martin Simonsen steps in as the leadoff hitter for Team Denmark. Again, both these two teams with identical 1-1 records in that tough Pool B, so every win is going to make a difference here as you see Mohali. His first pitch is a ball down low to Simonsen.
Simonsen spent the last summer in New Zealand playing for the Northcote Club. He's an elite hitter, international player now. Hopefully he'll get his team off to a good start.
That pitch in there for a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Just underway here. This game number 20, 76 in the books. Of course, it's going to be every pitch, every inning, every game here on Sports Canada TV. And of course, Ballpark Broadcasting, glad to be here and be involved in this. Checked his swing for sure, and that's going to even the count now at 2-2 to the leadoff man, Simonsen. Expecting rain throughout the day today. It'll just be a matter of whether or not we can fit some ball in as a swing and a miss. So a good start, good rise ball from Mohali, and he sits down Simonsen for the first out of the ball game.
Yeah, you can see why Mohali threw well 2 days ago in that opening match. He just reared back, threw that low lifter right through the zone, said, "You want it, buddy, come get it." Boom, straight past the bat.
And stepping in now is Anton Brown, and he looks at a called strike. And Mohali works quick. He doesn't waste a whole lot of time, and despite having the pitch clock, it hasn't really been an issue, and a big swing and a miss. So a good up, he's got a good drop ball. He's got a surprising number of different pitches when you consider, where he's playing and the very limited softball experience. And a swing and a miss. So Mohali with 2 strikeouts here to open up this ball game, sits down a good hitter in Anton Brown, and that will bring up Vlad Terkelson. Of course, with Denmark noticeably missing one of their top players in brother Fred Terkelson, who was not able to make the trip here, but usually the Terkelsons are out there patrolling center and one of the other fields as well. So missing that stick in the lineup, and tough void to fill if you're Team Denmark. But again, with a 1-1 record, very, very respectable. And Mohali's all over that plate here in the early goings. Starts Terkelson off with a strike in the inside corner. And rise ball missing up. Run the count even at 1-1.
Vladimir Terkelson, you mentioned about Freddie not being here. Vladimir's having to take the mantle and lead this team offensively. Seeing him in the 3-hole now, let's see what he can do.
And a little late on that, swing and a miss. And again, if you haven't seen Mohali, you might tend to underestimate him just a bit. He's got good speed, good velocity, and good control. He is definitely the ace of the Botswana club. And on the outside corner, caught looking, striking out the side. is Mohali, and 3 up, 3 down. Go Team Denmark. No hits, no runs, and nobody left the board. We've played a half, and we'll be back here with the bottom of the inning after this.
This event would not be possible without the generous support of our sponsors, including our premier sponsor, Pepsi. Pepsi, the Yukon's choice.
They haven't got all the little things down. Alright, light him up, Botswana.
The 2017 WBSC Men's World Championship is funded in part by Government of the Yukon.
Johnson, I think, still a hiker.
Welcome back here to the Pepsi Softball Center in Whitehorse, Yukon, as we head to the home half of the first inning of a scoreless ball game. Set the batting order for you for Botswana. It'll be Brian Kokur to lead things off. Cabo Mato bats in the 2 spot. Tabiso Raditubani is the number 3 hitter. Eric Simwanza bats cleanup. Morilahagni Mualusi is in the 5 hole. Motusi Shalobani is batting 6th. Romeo Shalamatsi bats 7th. Obuswi Lakotu bats 8th. And Godson Mutsumi is in the 9 hole. Defensively for Denmark, it'll be Mikkel Anderson, Martin Simonsen, and Anton Brown left to right in the outfield. Alexander Lorenzen on the hot corner. Dennis Nielsen is the shortstop. Mark Nihoy at second base. Daniel Julinon at first. And Anders Jorgensen will be catching for Kim Hansen, the ace of the Denmark squad. And this Denmark team comes in with a 1-1 record. They are very middle of the pack right now. They've come a long way from being a bit of a doorstop, and now they are contending for one of those top 4 spots that will be available for the medal round. Starts Kokur off with a strike in the outside corner.
Yeah, you're right. Denmark led by Kim Henson on the mound there, just coming into his prime. He's in his, the low 30s of his age, so that's when players tend to get to the best part of their playing career, and he's obviously more mature. I remember him coming to New Zealand something like about 10 years ago to play as a youngster for the Metro club there, so he's put a lot of work into it, and Denmark will be hoping they can pay off and pay dividends from that.
Well, he is definitely their ace as you see him get caught up with some footing now. You got to understand with the rain and some of the conditions on the diamonds, things just a wee bit off, so to speak, as clearly Hansen is the ace of this Denmark squad as that pitch up in the zone. Hansen working again, swing and a miss from Kokur. And Hansen set again, and that pitch is popped up. It's going to stay inside the fence, and it does not as it gets caught on the netting up top.
Yeah, for those who haven't been to White House before, the fences, the backstop fence is not that high, so they've compensated for that, and they put a black netting across between the home run, the backstop fence there, just to stop the foul balls from flying into the crowd, to keep it safe here. And sometimes the high pop up like that, it gets caught in it, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was one of the downside to having a netting, as Kokur took a big hack there and fouled that one off. So the count even at 2-2. You're right, safety of the fans obviously comes first. Not to worry about anything else as far as that goes.
Go to 4 if you have to.
Still could use maybe a few more feet on that netting. Good off-speed pitch, dribbler up the middle, going to be a tough play. Not in time to get Kokur. So no chance for Nihoy, as that was a slow roller right up the middle. I think Hansen was probably the only one that even had a chance at that. So an infield hit for Kokur to start things off here, and that'll bring up Cabo Mato, the second baseman.
Squares and sets and looks at a called strike. As a bit of a discussion here, and Jorgensen came out and gestured towards second base. Nico Kerr standing on first thought he meant go ahead, take the base. That wasn't exactly what the translation was going to be. Squaring the bunt and looking at another called strike. So Matto has looked at 2 strikes, squared the bat on it both times, but not able to do much else with it. And fouls that one off to stay alive. So in the hole 0-2, but still alive here with the leadoff man aboard in Nico Kerr.
And Matto with a fearsome swing there, a bit like the prop on the airplane that just flew over. We're close to the international airport here in Whitehorse. And
so down goes Matto swinging, waving at a good drop ball from Hansen, and that will bring up Fabiso Ratatubani, the catcher. Ratatubani having himself a good tournament up to this point. Been one of the mainstays in the Botswana lineup. Him and Simwanza. And they bat 3-4 in this order, chasing that rise ball. Hansen very crafty. He's got okay velocity, but he does a good job of mixing up his pitches and keeping you off balance. So not really overpowering, but he's got enough on it to zip it by if you're not careful. That bunt attempt goes awry, and it'll be an 0-2 count now on Ratatubani.
yeah, on both sides of that conversation, good to see Botswana not afraid to use a short ball there with 1 out, runner on 1. But also Kim Hansen, I think part of the reason for success this week especially is the catcher. He's the captain of this team, Anders Jorgensen, and he moves around a lot to give him a good location where to pitch to, and that can really help out. You know, a good catcher really makes a good pitcher.
Well, I think that being the most important position on the diamond, really, when you think about it, the catcher is the quarterback. And that ball lifted up deep to center field going back, but still plenty of room out there for Simonson. Makes the grab, tagging and coming in to second, but he's gunned out on the play was Nico Kerr. So a good arm out there from Simonson as he records the out and gets the assist on the play. Double play for Denmark, gets them out of the inning. We're going to roll to the top of the second after this.
That would have been really fun. Really fun.
Please join us in thanking our volunteer sponsor, Air North, Yukon Airlines.
No,
They
I'm
offer
not.
daily flights to Vancouver as well as regular flights to Calgary, Edmonton, Kelowna, Ottawa, and Yellowknife. Visit flyairnorth.com to book all of your travel.
They're waiting for you.
Now batting for the visiting team Denmark, wearing number 25 is the first baseman, Daniel Julinon.
Back here for the top of the second inning, it'll be Daniel Julinon to lead things off here. His first look at Mohali. And he starts him off with a strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, I like the look of this hitter. I know he goes from the left side. He's nice and patient. He's balanced, but he's got power.
Mohali goes to the outside, missing a bit wide, and that'll run the count even at 1-1. Just a little history for you. Botswana making their 6th appearance here at a World Championship. And they have come a long way as that rise ball just misses. Their highest or best finish was 9th, that in 2000. And they're currently ranked 19th in the world. So they've come a long way. Julinon checked his swing and The count now 3-1. They played 2 3-game series against South Africa to prepare for this event. And that one goes off Julian's arm, and he will make the trot down to first base. So leadoff man aboard here for Team Denmark. And Julian will shake that one off, and it'll be Anders Jorgensen that will step in. And I'm not sure what your take is on playing some small ball. We talked about that yesterday during the New Zealand game. But in this game, I would think that runs are extremely valuable, and if you get a runner aboard, you should probably advance them. What are your thoughts on that, John?
Yeah, they sure will look to advance them in a couple of different types of ways. I think we haven't touched on yet in this team, the Danish team, they've got very, very experienced coaching staff. Israel Nukunuku is the head coach at third base, and over at first base, Dion Nukunuku, 16-year veteran from the New Zealand Black Sox team. Their experience at this team this time around, invaluable.
And a big swing and a miss there from Jorgensen. So it didn't look like he was choked up on that bat to lay one down at any time, but sometimes your coaches will give you that first rip. And again, does not square and looks at a called ball, a close one to take, even to count at 1-1. Well, we all know, Chop, sometimes you got to grip it and rip it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know that's someone's philosophy anyway. And runner goes, throw down, not in time, too high. So Julian, who clearly there's a pinch runner in, and I haven't seen, it looks like it could be, yes, Duncan Mill that's in to run as he swipes second base, and now there's a runner in scoring position for Jorgensen. Ground ball fielded by Mohali. He's going to go to third base in time. So good heads-up play from Mohali as they cut Mill down, trying to advance. Jorgensen will be on first base, courtesy the fielder's choice. So Milne out, they cut down the lead runner, which was a good play for Botswana.
Mohali there with a great turn to get that lead runner here. But I tell you what, the Nuku coaching playbook here is pressure, pressure, pressure. And they're going to make those guys go on those 50-50 plays. And you saw there, instead of bunting them over to one, they stole them there. Then the idea was to get them over to three. And with only one out, fly ball, you get a run. These guys, they're an elite coaching staff. They're going to give them a lot of helping hand here.
Right now, it's going to be Mikael Anderson that steps in now. He checked his swing. So with one away, runner on first base here in a scoreless ball game. And you're right, Chopper. We spoke about that yesterday, and I was commenting about the fact that New Zealand has got the most impressive base running game that I've seen. Extremely aggressive. They make you make the perfect throw. They pressure you all the time. And you can see with the Nukunukus at the helm, that's the philosophy they brought, as that bunt attempt tried to maybe steer that one just over the third baseman's head there in Mualusi. But you're absolutely right, that philosophy. And you know what? If anyone can take this Denmark team to the next level, it's the Nukunukus.
Yeah. Well, just from the standpoint, you don't think I'm playing against 9 guys. I'm playing against 11. The 2 on the sidelines there play just an important part.
Well, it's a team game as you see Anderson go down swinging. 4th strikeout already here in this ball game for Mohali.
So with the 2 down, we see the change. Milne coming back into the ball game as the last out to run for the catcher Jorgensen, so he can go and get suited up.
So it's Mark Nihoy now that steps in with 2 away.
You said you were going to get something too. You've been talking about pizza.
No rain right now, which is a good thing here, as that rise ball missing up. 2 balls and no strikes to count here to Mark Nihoy. Kahiso Mohali has been tough right here in the early going, as that pitch on the outside corner for a called strike.
That was a perfect pitch right there. That's very hard to hit at that location. If you hit it, it's going to be a weak ground ball. And what a great pitch.
Runner going, pitch downstairs, throw not in time. So again, they're going to get called on the leadoff. So Mill is out on the play, courtesy the leadoff. And it'll be Nihoy then to lead off the third. But that will do it. So what started off a bit promising, they come up empty. Scoreless ball game back here in Whitehorse in a moment.
Please join us in thanking our official suppliers, Air North, Molson Coors, Home Hardware, Whitehorse Motors, Super Safe Fence Rental, Patrick Roberge Productions, now batting for Botswana, the home team, wearing number 15, center fielder, Eric Simwanza.
Back here at the Pepsi Softball Complex in Whitehorse, Yukon, Lance Wynn alongside Jason Gerbis, a.k.a. Chopper. Glad you decided to tune in here. It'll be Eric Simwanza, followed by Morlahagni Mualusi. And that'll be Motusi Shalobani, the scheduled 3 hitters for Botswana. Each team has had a base runner, but neither has been able to play to run up to this point. Scoreless here, bottom of the second inning, as that pitch from Hansen inside and tight to run the count even at 1-1. That's a shot up the middle for a base hit. So for the second straight inning, Botswana has the leadoff man aboard. It's Simwanza with a single to start things off, and that will bring up the third baseman in Morlahagni Mualusi.
For any young ball players watching the telecast today, Simwanza there choosing to hit the ball up the middle is the best place to hit the ball. It's the biggest hole in the defense in the infield. If you can just drive it up the middle, you have to hit it too hard up the middle, you're going to get a safe hit a lot of the percentage of the time.
I would expect Mualusi to square and lay this one down, and it's a beauty. Stuck right there, and no chance to get anyone, as it looks like. So I think a conference might be needed here. I believe the call was that the batter touched the ball on his way to first base. From my vantage point, I didn't see him touch that ball at all.
Yeah, I got the monitor on that play. It was definitely a double hit. I was a little unsure whether it was a double hit with the bat or it was his foot, but it definitely was a second touch with the ball, and it was right on the front of the home plate there. So there was definitely a play of some sort of dead ball at least, but in this case, he was out of the box.
So you saw it. If you saw it, Chops, then I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
So one away now for Matuzi Shalobani, and we will expect him then to square what looked initially like a pretty good bunt. Unfortunately, you can only touch it once. And a swing and a miss. So Hansen seems to be finding a bit of a groove now.
Lucky for us, we got the great camera people at Sports Canada TV giving these shots.
And that's going to bounce just foul.
Give me Botswana and Turkey all day.
So Jalobani's got some work to do here. Behind in the count, 0-2. One down, runner on first base, courtesy a leadoff single. And a swing and a miss. So down goes Shalobani. He is the second strikeout victim for Hansen in this ball game, and that will bring up Romeo Shalamatsi. You know, Chopper, I think people underestimate, and I won't say people, I say some players underestimate how difficult it is for you to bring the bat forward like you're going to bunt and then square back around to swing. your body is still moving. The whole key is to be stationary in the box. That's when you can hit the ball the hardest and you can see it the best. So some of these guys that are doing that fake bunt and switch back have no idea that they're making things or they're at bat a lot more difficult than it could be.
Yeah, you're right. I think one of the things with it is as you develop that technique, it's an elite play to be able to swing like that. You can't move your feet. Your feet have to stay in the same position. You can move your top half, but not your feet, so it allows you to get back in a hittable position a lot quicker. But it isn't easy, and it is a deceptive move against the defense, but hard to execute.
Absolutely. Just like being a slap hitter, if you got guys that can do it, it's dangerous. It's tough to defend, but at the same time, you really decrease your odds of getting a good solid hit because your feet are on the move in the batter's box. So Shalamatsi in the hole 0-2 here. There are 2 away. And that's a hard hit ball through the hole on the right side. Base hit. Rounding second. Throw is going to get cut off. So a 2-out single from Shalamatsi. And Simwanza standing at third base. Shalamatsi at first with a single. And that'll bring up Wbsc Lakotu with a chance here to bring in the first run if he can deliver a clutch 2-out hit.
Just a little bit of international communication going on there. It sees Hansen backing up that play at third base like all good pitchers should, and Sawanzi comes into third base and actually bumps chests with Hansen's there just on the base, and Hansen wasn't happy with that and kind of gave him a gesture, and then he got a gesture back. So look, a bit of energy, a bit of fight coming between these two teams.
And you see a little extra put on that pitch from Hansen as Lakotu took a look at strike one. And swing and a miss. So maybe that little chest bump did a little bit to perk Hansen up just a bit. And he's really bared down on the last 2 pitches. And that ball is a slow roller to second. Gobbled up there by Nihoy and over to first in time. So 4-3 on the putout. 2 men stranded. Just 2 hits in the inning. No runs. We're scoreless as we roll to the third after this.
We had no run, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. Please join us in thanking our community sponsors, the City of Whitehorse, Micmac Toyota, North 60 Petro, Pizza Hut, and Total Track Yukon. You can skip the hassle of looking for a parking spot at the park. There's a free shuttle from several different hotels downtown to the Pepsi Softball Center. For the locations and shuttle schedule, check out 2017 Men's World Softball.com.
Lucky even get a countdown. Back here at the Pepsi Softball Center here in Whitehorse, Yukon. Lance Wynn alongside my man Chopper. Always glad to have your eyes and ears join us here as we are in the top of the third inning. It'll be Nihoy, Lorenzen, and Nielsen. 3 hitters scheduled for Denmark here in a scoreless ball game. And of course, both these 2 teams with identical 1-1 records. So this game very important. Anytime you are matched up against a team that you feel you are equal to or better than, and you had better get the W, because you, especially in particular in Pool B, you run into teams like New Zealand and Venezuela and Japan, and I tell you, it's a whole different ball game the way those teams play. Mohali now missing down to count 3-1. And Mohali's going to be tested. Against Great Britain, he was outstanding through a no-hitter. Better hitters here in Denmark. And as you go through the week, you're going to run into better teams. So it'll be interesting to see how he matures and he progresses, this being his first time here. On the outside corner, called strike. And Nihoy knew it. Tried to play it off like he was trotting down to first, but as home plate umpire Daryl Helmer rung him up. And they're one away now for Alexander Lorentzen.
Lorensen's a young third baseman for Denmark here, and he's only 18 years old. But it comes with a lot of the youthful exuberance, but very, very fast on the base path.
He looks at a called strike on the outside corner from Muhali.
Oh man, European race.
And a good bunt attempt. This time no one touched it, but popping out of his crouch and getting it down there in time was Ratatubani. And in a blink of an eye now, there are two away.
Tell you what, Ratatubani, that is a tough play to make, and he made that look easy. He popped out of that crouch real quick there and threw a seed down to first base to retire the speedy youngster there for the second out of the innings.
And you can't say anything about Lorenzen's bunt. It was a beautiful one. It sat right there in front of the plate. And that's one of the things when you have some rain with this type of infield, it slows things down. Nowhere nearly as quick as it normally would be on a dry day. And it's Dennis Nielsen now, the shortstop, that steps in with two away. The grass a little bit slick due to the rain, so expect the ball to skip a bit. Funny how that happens. With the rain, the infield gets slower and the outfield gets quicker. The 1-1 is downstairs, so a good eye from the number 9 hitter, Nielsen. And the count now 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, Nielsen will be wanting to turn it over the top of the order here, trying to get on base for his national team.
And that one in there for a called strike.
Mohali on the other side, he's got a different idea. He wants to sit him down, start afresh when he comes back in the next innings.
The 2-2 is nibbled on the corner. Home plate umpire Daryl Helmer said, close, but not enough of the white. And that'll run the count full, 3-2. No mistake that time as Muhali, second strikeout of the inning. Down goes Nielsen, and that will do it. 1-2-3. Go Denmark. Back here for the home half of 3 after this.
Had passed away last night as a result of your dinner. Passed away, dead.
Botswana, the home team, wearing number 5 is the first baseman, Godson.
Back here for the home half of 3, it'll be the 9-1-2 hitters for Botswana. Godson Mutsami will lead things off here and get his first look at Kim Hansen. And Hansen starts him off with a ball. Lance Wynn, Jason Gerbis here of Ballpark Broadcasting. Of course, the entire crew here, with the exception, of course, of Blair Setford, who is manning home base. Glad you've joined us here. We are game 20 of 76 in total over the course of this 10-day tournament as Hansen pours in a strike to run the count now to 2-1.
Yeah, Blair Sifford might not be here physically, but mentally, he is working for us back home, and he's sending us tons and tons of great information. Helps us to get these broadcasts on point and provide us some background notes and information on teams. He's a true asset to the team.
You're absolutely right. Blair Setford is mental at home. That's very correct in your assessment. I'm sure he would, of course, appreciate that, but he knows a compliment does not come without a dig, too, as you see Mutsami go down swinging. Looks like Hansen took a little bit off that rise ball, just a bit. And doing a good job now, that for his third strikeout of this ball game. One away here for the top of the shop now in Brian DeCoquer. And that one had a bit of a zip on it. Looked like a bit of a high drop that missed outside. Haven't had any issues with the pitching clock in the first 3 days of competition here, and that's a good thing. Guys know you need to speed things up just a bit. DeCoquer singled in his only other time at bat and was caught attempting the steal as he was gunned out by Jorgensen by a lot. That pitch, looking down in the zone, trying to just catch that lower half, was Hansen, but Darryl Helmer said, you got to bring that up a bit, and the count now 3-1. And a good rip from DeCoquer, but can't keep that between the lines, and that runs the count full.
Yeah, DeCoquer also something he liked right there, and he wished he had that pitch back because he put a lot of effort into that swing.
And that ball is lifted up, and it's into the stands, over top of the stands here on diamond number 1. So the count remains full. And that's a slow roller, going to be a tough play. DeCoquer with great speed and no way. Good job from Jorgensen not even to throw that ball. So DeCoquer has his second hit of the ball game. This time it's an infield single. And with one away, that'll bring up Cabo Mato, the second baseman.
Yeah, swinging bunt there, tough to defend, especially when you've got 2 strikes on the batter. The first baseman, Julian on, he's going to sit back in that situation defensively. And then with the swing, but even though it rolled a fair way down the line, it's too far for him to come forward and get. And basically it's just one of those ones you got to eat it up and take your medicine.
Might be a different story had it been a dry infield. There probably was a little bit more roll to it, but not the case here. So you look, and Mato doing exactly what we spoke about, where you square the bunt and turn it back and try to swing. Again, it is an art. It's not easy to do. So sometimes guys tend to fall in love with it and don't realize you're doing yourself more harm than good. And there's a bunt attempt that he misses now, so he's in the hole now 0-2.
Yeah, you're right. Just watching his feet there, they're all over the place, to be honest with you. Even just an attempted bunt, his feet are everywhere. If you don't have a stable base, you get a moving platform, it's hard to make anything happen.
This is one sport where you better leave your dancing slippers at home. As that pitch from Hansen comes in low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rain starting to come down just a wee bit harder now. And that pitch left up there by Hansen. Mato was a strikeout victim in the first, in his only other at-bat here today. So 1 game a day makes things a little easier on your pitching staff, but the importance even greater as a swing and a miss. Good squeeze from Jorgensen. So Mato again put another K beside him, and they're 2 away for Fabiso Ratatubani, the catcher.
Got to say, Lance, there's Kim on the hill here, Kim Hansen. He is a level, cool, calm customer these days. And, many years ago he was a lot younger and he wasn't so much. But now he's composed and he makes him a far better pitcher and a far better team person. And he deserves all the success he's getting right now.
Well, Chopper, we were speaking in between innings about Hansen, and you were telling me a little bit about his history and how he's matured. And that's always nice to see when you see someone come from one level and you see them working themselves up in a positive manner. And that appears to be what Hansen's done. So good for him here as Ratatubani. Now remember, Ratatubani hit that deep fly to center field, and it was Simonson with the cannon to get the runner at second base trying to tag up, so to complete the double play here. And that, of course, was back in the first inning. So the 1-1 to Ratatubani, and a swing and a miss way out in front of that.
Yeah, Ratatubani looking to change the score on the scoreboard with that swing there.
And we'll see what Hansen, who is looking very comfortable in that circle, I might add, as that pitch may be too sweet of a 1-2 pitch.
Ratatubani probably just falling a little bit there, just watching him swing that bat. He's obviously got a lot of power, but he also has his footwork is a little bit all over the place, and if he was a little bit more stationary, just the one movement, you might find a bit more better success.
You know, Chopper, those guys like that, you put it on the outside corner, and it's going to be a leadoff, and that's exactly. So Deco Kerr not helping his team out now. This is going to be the second time that he's run his team out of an inning, and caught with a leadoff after getting caught stealing in the first. So it'll be Ratatubani that will lead things off when we come back, or in the home half of the inning. Right now, we're going to head to the top of the fourth. Scoreless ball game. Back after this. Welcome back here as we head to the top of the fourth inning. Scoreless ball game between Denmark and Botswana. Lance Wynn alongside my broadcast partner, Jason Gerbis. Glad to have you here. The entire Sports Canada TV crew as leadoff hitter Simonson.
Yes.
Good pitch from Mohali in tight, right on the hands. And I think that's what you got to do with a big guy like Simonson.
Yeah, Simonson today celebrating a half a century of games for Denmark. So in the leadoff spot, a celebration of that for him. And what a great achievement for Martin and his family back in Denmark. I'm sure they're tuned in right now watching. And, he deserves it. Put a lot of work into his game to have been with the Denmark team for such a long period of time. We wish him and his family the best of luck.
Well, he's seen them struggle, and he's seen the fruits of his labor. So good on him as he looks at a ball outside to run the count even at 1-1. And Mohali in the inside corner, so good location there on that pitch. Tough for the big guys to get those ones low and inside, and that's right where Mohali put it. 1-2, blows it by him on the rise ball, so second time Mohali has sat down Simonson. Seventh strikeout in the ball game, and that will bring up Anton Brown, also a strikeout victim in his last at bat.
You can tell why Mohali's got good control. He hits both sides of the plate. You talked about he's got all the pitches, but I tell you, you've got to eliminate one. That letters high rise ball from him, that's a no-go zone. Don't even try swing at that thing. Let it be up there, and hopefully it's called as a ball.
Good piece of hitting as that one laced out to left field for a base hit. So Anton Brown collects the first hit of the ball game for Denmark. And it's a solid single to left field, and that will bring up Vlad Turkelson with a runner aboard here. And we noticed about Turkelson, got caught looking in the first to end the inning. Turkelson is one of those guys, when he gets hot, he can really be a factor, but sometimes he's a bit of a slow starter. And at this tournament, you need your guns to be ablazing, and he's an important part of this Denmark offense. So they need him to produce. And when you're in that three-spot chopper, you know you're expected to get the job done, as he couldn't hold off there, and a good rise ball for strike one.
Yeah, Valdemar is a very talented player. Away from my experience with him, if he's happy enjoying his softball, he plays a lot better.
Popped up good speed there at third base from Mualusi.
Yeah.
As he took 2 strides and he was all over that to make the catch. So Turkelson erased as he pops out.
Yeah, unfortunately, Turkelson's actually in a rut at the moment. He's trying to get off the bump and get going, and everything he tries, just putting the ball down there to move the runner over. He just can't quite get it to happen right now.
And we know in this game that can happen to anybody at any time, so it's certainly not something out of the norm. Daniel Julian now with his second at bat, hit by a pitch in the second inning. And a pinch runner came in, stole the base, but then was gunned out at third.
Yeah, when you got a teammate like that struggling, I'm not superstitious, but I'm gonna slip a rabbit's foot. I'm gonna put a horseshoe in a suitcase, and I'm gonna turn my hat upside down for him. Every possible chance to get back into his
Say
game.
a prayer, rub a bush. I don't care what you got to do, but that's it. Runner goes, and a throw down, short hop. So again, another stolen base. This time it comes from Anton Brown.
Man, I love the Botswanan players, man. I love their people. Look, they did. It was a poor executed attempt to try and stop that stolen base. But what do? They smile about it. They laugh about it. You know what they do? Because they're just parking that play. They're moving on to the next one. So clever job.
And you know what? Nothing wrong with a short memory in this game. And that ball will get back and going to third. And probably Ratatubani may have had a chance to get Brown at third base, thought better of it, and now Julian here with a chance to cash in the first run of this game, and just got enough of that to stay alive. Way behind though on the Muhali fastball, so we'll see if Muhali can, between him and Ratatubani, come up with a pitch here that can erase this threat and end the inning.
Tell you what, the base runner at third base, Anton Brown, when he had that single to get on to first base, he was pumped. He's wheeled himself all the way to third base. Can he make it one more base?
And a hard hit ball fielded neatly at second base by Mato and over to first in time. So Botswana defense tightened up. Runner left aboard. We're still scoreless. We're going to roll to the bottom of the fourth in a moment. Back here for the bottom of the fourth inning. No score between Botswana and Denmark here. Game 20 on day 3 of competition from beautiful Whitehorse, Yukon. Land of the midnight sun. And I tell you, it was sunny at 11:30 last night. I had to put on my sunglasses. Help me go to sleep. So you go, as it'll be Ratatubani to lead things off, followed by Simwaza and Mualusi. And you know, when you look back to that last inning and you talk about Ratatubani not throwing that ball down the third, good decision, as you see Hansen with a changeup, lost his balance, but fortunately the ball was already released and it was in there for a strike. You look at those little things. He makes a poor decision, throws that away, and that's an unearned run that comes trotting in. Instead, he holds it. They get the strikeout and, the ground out and end the inning in the threat. So good decision there from Botswana. And as you know, Chopper, one decision leads to another, and it always has a domino effect, or it affects the outcome, or at least the path of the game at that point in time.
Well, the only way you can throw that ball to 3 in that situation with 2 outs and a dominant pitcher on the mound is if you've got backup right behind him. If the fielder's not there, it's just a no throw. You can't make it no matter how cold the guy can be. You just can't throw it in this situation. Your guy on the hill is a stud. You got to let him finish that innings.
That's exactly what they did, as Ratatubani staying alive. He flied out in the first inning, and now he is swing and a miss. So good rise ball from Hansen, sits down Ratatubani. 5 strikeouts in total for Hansen up to this point, and that'll bring up Simwanza. And Simwanza singled and was left stranded at third base in the second inning. And that pitch split the plate in half for strike 1.
Just got a message from Blair Sefford back home. He tells me after you gave him a dig that he's going mental back home here, wishing he was up in Whitehorse with us, and we wish he was too. But he said, on the upper hand, it's in the upper 20s, and I can go swimming between games, buddy.
Okay, well he's gonna play hardball, is he? All right, big swing and a miss, and down goes Simwanza. So a good pitching sequence there from Hansen, as that's 3 strikeouts in a row if you go back an inning. 6 in total now, and there are 2 away for Mualusi. That pitch floated outside for a ball. Well, I knew no comment was going to go unchallenged by Mr. Setford. That's the way he rolls, so the only good thing is that we can still filter his response. So theoretically, I can say what I want and tell you what his response was. I can say whatever I want. So I know how he appreciates that while he's swimming in his pool.
It's my cup of tea, buddy, and I've got the spoon.
That's right. So, unfortunately, that karma thing will come back to get you at some time. But in the meantime, between time, we're going to roll with what we got here, as the rain has held off here and continues to. That pitch again lifted straight up. Will it stay in play? It does not. So Lorenzen was all over that, had that ball managed to drift back, but it did not. So Mualusi has some life behind in the count now, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. So Hansen has found his groove, 4 straight strikeouts. And that will do it. 1, 2, 3, down go Botswana. We're scoreless as we are about to do our slide to 5 after this. Welcome back to our slide to 5 here. Scoreless ball game. It'll be Anders Jorgensen, Mikkel Andersen, and Mark Nihoy, the scheduled 3 for Denmark. We're lucky to have the lovely and talented Maddie Flanagan here in the press box as she gets set to go do her rounds.
I tell you what, she takes beautiful pictures.
She sure does.
It's because she's a beautiful woman.
That's right. Well said. And a lucky, fearless leader we have, as I'm sure he's back prepping for some of the stuff that he does. Something about being a lawyer, that sideline gig that he's got. So Jorgensen now with his bunt attempt reached on a fielder's choice in the second inning. And that was about it for that. So Mohali has done a good job here in this ball game, Chopper. He's kept the Denmark team off balance. And that pitch, hard to say no to that. That is right on the corner, but certainly didn't get the call that he wanted. So the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that pitch fouled back and out of play.
Yeah, you know what? You know, Denmark won the European Championships in 2010, and Botswana are now, they are on a par with Denmark, and maybe not the same hitting depth, but they are on a par.
Oh, and a good off-speed changeup, but didn't dip in over the plate. And that'll run the count full. At least half of the top row of the bleachers here are all sideline umpires. And a swing and a miss. So Mohali didn't get the call on the changeup, came back with a good rise ball, and sat down Jorgensen for the first out of the 5th inning.
Yeah, I got to say, Ratatubani behind the dish, he's obviously got good strategies in mind. When you go from changeup to that high, hard heat, ooh, I don't know. I don't care who you are, man. That's hard to catch up to.
Yes, it is. So Mikkel Andersen now swings through for strike 1. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. That ball up the middle, fielded and off Mohali. Good try there. He thought he had a handle on it, but wasn't able to corral it, and Anderson will end up on first base with an infield hit. So that'll bring up Mark Nihoy, the second baseman. With 1 out, and this game may come down to that one mistake or someone taking advantage of that one opportunity, as these two teams very evenly matched. And it wasn't too long ago when you would have certainly pegged Denmark as an easy win over Botswana, but that's certainly not the case now, and that's the beauty of the game, quite frankly. You want it to grow, as that pitch in the outside corner for a called strike.
Yeah, you're right. Both of these two countries, Botswana and Denmark, can be proud of these athletes that are out on the diamond today. They are becoming elite players, and it's fantastic to watch their growth in the game of fast-pitch softball.
Well, you've been around a long, Chopper. You've seen a lot of things, so that's certainly high praise as Nihoy fouls that one off. So he's in the hole now, 0-2. Choked way up on the bat. Rise ball, runner goes. Good throw down. Not able to handle that was Diko Kerr. So a good throw from Ratatubani goes for naught, as it looks like Nihoy now standing at second base. So runner in scoring position here for Nihoy if he can find a hole somewhere.
And it was just a matter of time before they sent him there to 2. That's the 4th stolen base of this game.
And there's a called strike 3. So Nihoy, that's the second time we've had to turn that K the other way and send him back to the dugout. Second out of this inning, and that'll bring up Lorentzen, and it looks like there will be a pinch hitter in Anders Svein. So Svein will bat for Lorentzen with 2 away here and a runner in scoring position at second base.
Yeah, Anas Savanet, he is An elite hitter. He spent a couple of seasons in New Zealand a few years back now for the Roosters Ball Club at the North Harbour Softball Association. So he's played internationally. He's a good hitter. He has a brother that plays as well who's not available this trip, but they're bringing in some experience here in a situation. If he can bring in this run for Denmark, they will be on fire in that dugout, and that might be just enough for Kim Hansen to lock this one down.
Well, that's certainly an interesting script. We'll see if it follows based on the first two swings, though. I'd have to give the edge to Muhali. So with an 0-2 count now, Svein's going to have to go to work here if he wants to cash in that runner at second base. So good speed at second in Anderson, and off-speed pitch floated in there, but it's a ball. So 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Tough pitch to lay off right there with 2 strikes. Anything close you got to protect.
And couldn't do much. Svein down on strikes. So once again, it's Mohali that closes the door. 1 hit, 1 runner left aboard. We're scoreless. We'll continue our slide to 5 after this short break. Underway here as we continue our slide to 5. Home half of the inning. It'll be Shalobani followed by Shalamatsi and Lakotu to stand in that batter's box against Kim Hansen, who has found himself in a groove here since the 3rd inning. 1, 2, 3 in the 4th, struck out the side. So now here trying to go through a clean 3 here again and get his team back up to the plate and a chance to push across a run as we are scoreless. And that ball is lifted, going to be tracked back, and a good play from Nielsen as he took 3 steps back and was right under it to corral the pop-up and record the first out of the inning. We, of course, would like to acknowledge our Sports Canada crew as our director, Adam Conley, a.k.a. 40 Ford, Julian Land, Elliot Goodyear, Tom Melanchuk, I guess a.k.a. the Diva, or Princess Tommy, or Princess if you just want to go with Princess, and, of course, Kathy Weldon on graphics. So wouldn't be able to do it without them. They're actually doing all the work. We're just doing more of the spectating side of things. I, of course, doing most of the blabbing, but it's a team effort here as we go throughout the week. Shalamatsi took that close one for a ball. So 1 ball and 2 strikes the count.
Yeah, Lance, don't sell yourself short here, buddy. You've got the smooth roll. When the tune comes out of your mouth, you're the right thing to say here, and it's just a pleasure to work alongside you here at Whitehorse at the Men's World Cup.
Well, I appreciate that, and the pleasure's mine. We just get to stand up here and watch ball and talk about it, so I'm glad I don't actually have to work for a living. My wife would, of course, disagree with that, but that's neither here nor there. Big swing and a miss. So Shalamatsi goes down whiffing, and that'll bring up Obusui Lakotu, the designated player. So Hansen has gotten better as the innings have gone on. And you talk about the adjustments you need to make. the second time through the order, and he's done a good job of making those adjustments. And there was that fake bunt and pullback swing. We have yet to see that done successfully.
Tell you what, it's not very often you see a designated player pull that move either.
That's very true, too. As Hansen nibbling on the lower corner doesn't come up with a strike. So the count now even at 1-1. That ball's laced down the right field line. That's going to be extra bases, rounding first. And chugging into second base with a 2-out stand-up double is Lakotu, and a base runner here for Botswana.
Now that's what a designated player does. He just sits there, waits for the ball to come, hits it as hard as he can, low as he can, and in that case, that was down the tram line there at first base, and he put some effort in to get the second. Great arm from Anton Brown out there at right field, but too fast. Stand-up double. Botswana with 2 outs, looking to impose something right here.
So it's going to be Godson Mutsami that looks at a called strike on the inside part of the plate. The number 9 hitter here actually started the first 2 games in the leadoff spot. And some would say that a lot of times teams will put another leadoff stick in the 9 hole, and that way you kind of go back to back and don't have the weakness at the bottom of the order. A little more balance as Hansen comes to the outside corner. So Hansen has bared down when he's needed to, hitting his spots the way you should, knowing full well that runs being at a premium here. It's going to be important to hold, and squaring, feet moving, nibbling, runner's going to go and take the base. So surprise, surprise, Lakotu read that play, and he swiped third without a throw.
Yeah, it's one of those plays, just like we talked about the other one. Your man in the middle is dealing, and you don't want to make a mistake. If the backup is not right behind that third baseman, too risky to throw.
Well, you look at that, and then the fact that Hansen's been doing a good job over the course of the last couple innings, and the same decision that was made by Botswana was made by Denmark and Jorgensen. So a full count now, 2 away with a runner on third. Scoreless ball game, squaring and missing up and out was Hansen. So a 2-out walk issued to Mutsami will bring it to the top of the shop in Brian Dikakur. And if there's anyone that is in the right place at the right time, it's Dikakur. Despite the fact that he's run his team out of 2 innings, he's also been responsible for 2 hits, 2 for 2 today. Both singles, and he has had his way with Hansen up to this point. So is there any other strategy if you're Denmark that you're going with here, Chopper? Do you put this guy on? Do you load him up and take your chances with Mato, who struck out twice, or what do you do?
Yeah,
Coach?
You're right. You've got a couple of options here, and I'm sure the Nukunukus are thinking about it a little bit. And that is, if you put this guy on, the one after him, he struck him out 2 times in a row. You know, you got a weaker hitter, but, you know, if he gets a squiggler, they might pop in 2 runs off that play. So, you know, you don't want to put up a crooked number here either. So, you know, Hansen, you maybe back him. He is throwing well, but I guess depends where you are in the count. If you get behind, maybe this is the time to go make the move. And as we say that, here comes Israel Nukunuku out of the dugout.
Well, and you know what? Really and truly, when you think about it, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So he is going to walk Dikakur, which I think is the right thing to do. Or you do the, you know, the intentional, unintentional kind of thing. But you risk it when you do that with the ball getting away in a pass ball. So loaded bases now.
You Canadians. Oh, my goodness. Unintentional, intentional.
That's the unintentional, intentional walk, right?
No wonder everyone
Where you
wears.
throw it, you're not going to give him anything sweet, but you're going to pitch hoping that he's going to swing at something that is out of the strike zone.
Where it goes up to bat against you Canadians, and you're wearing catcher's gear.
We've got all kinds for you, eh? You just don't know. We're just making stuff up as we go along, all right, Chopper? That's part of the beauty, and being the host nation, we're allowed.
Yeah.
So a big spot here for Kabomato. 2 strikeouts, 0 for 2, and that can all be erased here if he can come through with a clutch hit. Here in the 5th, scoreless ball game, bases loaded. And Hansen just missing. So home plate umpire Darryl Helmer sticking with his guns. He's established a strike zone and staying with it. 1-0 fouled back. So Mato doing a good job of holding that pose just a little bit longer. And the count even at 1-1. Big spot in this ball game here. And that ball lifted up and long run, but it's going to drift foul out of play. So Hansen now with the upper hand with a 1-2 count. And Mato struggling up to this point, but this being his 3rd look at Hansen. And that pitch, slow roller, and a tag out. So a good job by Nihoy to get the runner. A little inexperience on the base paths there. As a runner, you should probably stop and make him make the throw, but either way, ground out for an assisted. We'll be back with the 6th inning after this. Back here now for the top of the 6th inning, scoreless ball game. It's your 9-1-2 hitters for Denmark. Set for the 3rd look at Mohali, and he has been good up to this point as he pours in a strike to Dennis Nielsen, the shortstop. And Nielsen fouls that one off. So 2 outstanding pitching performances up to this point from Hansen and Mohali. And we thought too, Chopper, that this game, that we had 2 pretty evenly matched teams, and this game has proven just that as Mohali blows it by Nielsen for the strikeout.
Yeah, resting Mahali yesterday off the mound is proving successful. He comes in today fresh after that no-hitter on day 1 and up against a really good team here. Martin Simpson, 2 strikeouts. I'm sure he'll want to make an adjustment here in his 50th game for his country. And boy, oh boy, if he gets a home run here, he'll remember this game for the rest of his life.
He will, and we'll remember you called it too. So 11 strikeouts for Mohali. And that's a bunt popped up, and no chance. So Mohali was the only one that had a chance to get that. Wasn't able to get it in the air. So Simonson manages to pick up his first hit of this ball game, and it's a bunt single. And with 1 away now, that will bring on Anton Brown. Anton Brown 1 for 2 with a single. He has stolen a base and was actually left stranded at 3rd, that in the 4th. And that pitch looked well within the strike zone height-wise, but maybe didn't catch any of the white part of the plate. And it's 1 ball and no strikes.
You see Coach Nuku working.
Swing and a miss, runner goes, throw down. They're gonna check that, not in time. So a good slide out there from Simonson to avoid that tag. The throw from Ratatubani was high. And Simonson now standing in scoring position for Anton Brown and the rest of the meat of the order here for Denmark.
Yeah, Simonson may not have hit a home run in his 50th, but he dropped down a bunt when no one was expecting, a safe on one, steals second base. He's doing everything to get the win here for his country.
It's all about the team, and that's what matters here. And clearly Simonson, the epitome of team player, and Brown took that pitch inside for a strike. And that ball hit through the hole on the left side, base hit, rounding third. Throw's going to come in, not in time. We've got ourselves a 1-0 game. Now they've got Brown hung up, throw it away. Brown's going to make his way to second, round second, head for third. And he's going to trot into third easily, as talk about taking advantage. So Brown with a clutch single collects the RBI. Simonson brings in the first run of this ball game, and Denmark has themselves a 1-0 lead with a runner at third base for Vladdy Turkelson.
And Tom Brown just showing all of that experience he learned in the last summer with the Mount Albert Ramblers Club in New Zealand. He's put a lot of work into his game. He's driven, that's the second ball he's put to the left side of the diamond, but what a perfect time with the speedy Simonson at second base to open the account for Denmark. And the way that Hansen's going, maybe one's enough, but you never know. One out here, I'm sure they'll take an insurance run if they can get it.
Well, you'll always take the insurance if you can get it. We'll see if Turkelson can find the mark here. He has struck out and popped out. So 0 for 2 here, and a good cut there. Certainly looked like he just missed that pitch. So maybe getting a little more comfortable in that batter's box is Vladdy Turkelson.
Yeah, we talked about him being in a rut, but I'll tell you what, a home run nullifies everything.
And a good cut again, as that ball's not coming down from the screen. We spoke yesterday, 4 of them stuck up there. You have to find a very well-climbing young individual to maybe go and do that route. Certainly won't be this old dude or you. O'Holly with a deadly changeup. A good time. He's only thrown that maybe a couple of times up to this point, but he saves it for Turkelson in this situation, and with 2 away and a runner at third, it'll be up to Daniel Julianon to try and give Denmark an insurance run, as that rise ball misses up and out of the zone for ball 1.
I tell you, Julianon, I like him. He's composed, got a level head on his shoulders. He didn't even flinch at that rise ball on the letters there. Everyone else is swinging at that pitch. He lays off it. He's the right man for the job right here.
Well, I don't know if Julianon does much flinching anyway. He took that pitch in the second inning off the elbow, didn't flinch, and just strolled down the first. So, been here before, and it certainly looks that way. We'll see now. This is a good test for Botswana. You've given up that go-ahead run here in the 6th. Chance for them to add another. How composed can they be in order to stop that run? So they've decided that they're going to send Julianon down the first with the intention of, and bring up Anders Jorgensen, who has grounded into a fielder's choice and struck out. So we'll see if this is a good coaching move. On paper, it certainly looks like the right thing to do. And again, Mohali has done a great job with some of these tall hitters of keeping the ball out of their wheelhouse. So keeping it either up and in or down and out. And those are the 2 spots you have to work to guys that can cover a large range of the strike zone. And again, so my suggestion would be to maybe go to a drop right now. He swung through on 2 rise balls. Might be a good idea to maybe go down and try and get him to fish at something, and he instead comes back, took a little off, but missing up.
Yeah, look, to be honest with you, he's behind it anyway, so with that change up, the next anything with gas here, I don't know if he's going to be able to catch up to it.
And he comes down with the drop ball, and you'll see Julianon will
Move over to second on the defensive indifference.
Yeah, great job there. Single here puts up a crooked number. That's game over.
And again, so Mohali comes with a little bit of juice with the 2-2 count. Fouled off by Jorgensen, and I agree. I think maybe you got to keep going with that good pitch you've got and pick a spot and hit it. And he misses down. It's when you start getting too fine and trying to make the perfect pitch that you struggle, and we'll see here. This is a pivotal point here. You give up another run, going to be tough.
Well, third time through the lineup too, right? These Danish hitters are good.
Swing and a miss, ball gets away. No one at first base, throw down in time. So a good recovery from Ratatubani as Mohali gets them out of a jam, striking out Jorgensen, but not before Denmark pushes a run across. 1-0. We'll be rolling down to the home half of 6 in a moment. Back here for the bottom of the 6th inning. 1-0 to score in favor of Denmark as they have plated a run in the top of this inning. It'll be Ratatubani followed by Simwanza and Mualusi. So 3, 4, 5 hitters. The right guys up at the right time here, and the best way to answer is to push a run across. As you see again, tough to do when those feet are moving. Ratatubani 0 for 2. He's flied out and struck out.
Ratatubani at first at bat, he pimped a fly ball to the center field. He thought he got it also, but he would love to get a hold of one properly here.
Well, I think if anyone on Botswana managed to hit a home run, I think the whole dugout would simply erupt. As you saw Hansen take a little off that pitch, and Ratatubani swung way over it. And that's a high chopper, fielded barehanded by Hansen and over to first in time. So Hansen clearly with some good athletic ability called that from the start and had to wait for it to come down. And managed to barehand it and get the throw over in plenty of time to get Ratatubani, so 1 away.
Are you kidding me, Lance? Every pitching coach in the world is just saying, what are you doing, kid? You put your pitching hand out there to grab that things? You know, never do that. But he knew that his team needed. He couldn't allow him to get on base there as a leadoff runner, and he knew it was more important for his team. And that's Hansen now putting the team before himself.
Excellent. You're absolutely right there. And he called for it, so he knew what he was doing, and he knew he was going to have to hurry, that he was going to be pressed for time, and he was. So Simwanza now steps in, 1 for 2. He singled and was left stranded at third base way back in the 2nd inning. So third time through the order is always tough. And a swing and a miss. So Hansen still remains awfully cool and composed in that circle. He's hitting his spots and has come up big when he's had to. So in on the hand, swing and a miss. Down goes Simwanza. And that will bring up Mualusi.
Simwanza on the second to last strike there. He stared down Hansen after he just missed that one. And Hansen didn't take a bar of it. He's so composed, just came back, low lifter, and said, see you later, buddy, and didn't even acknowledge him as he went past.
Hit up the middle, gobbled up at short by Nielsen, and over to first in time. So first pitch swinging, doesn't produce anything but an out. 3 up, 3 down. We played 6 complete. We're headed to the 7th in a moment. Welcome back as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Denmark with a 1-run lead here over Botswana. Game 20 here on day 3 of competition. 6, 7, 8 hitters for Denmark. Mikael Anderson followed by Mark Nihoy and Alexander Lorentzen. Or it should be Lorentzen out, and it looks like Anders Svein will be scheduled. So a big swing and a miss there from Anderson. 1 for 2 with a single and a stolen base. And we'll see if Botswana can't be composed, and that's just foul. So Mualusi, I think, did a good job of guarding the line, making sure that ball didn't land in fair territory. Maybe with a bit more of an extension, could have attempted at catching that ball, and that would have gone a long way to sitting down Anderson. Either way, back to work is Muhali, and a good spot, as all Anderson could do was get a piece on it to stay alive with the count 0-2.
Yeah, Mohali knows here his job for Botswana is to put up a 0 and give his team the opportunity in the bottom of the 7th to come back and win this thing. He's thrown a heck of a game. It's definitely a pitcher's duel. You know, it's the Mohali Hansen show. So, I mean, it's been a great job from both pitchers, and unfortunately, one guy has to lose.
That is, and Mohali with a big strikeout there. Strikes out Anderson for the 2nd time in the ball game. 14 strikeouts for Kahiso Mohali in this ball game. Pretty impressive, and a good bunt by Mohali all over it. Has to wait for his second baseman to get over there, but in plenty of time to get Nihoy, who will probably wind up 0 for 3 in this ball game. So Anders Svein now with a look at a good hard fastball from Mohali for strike 1. Svein struck out in the 5th when he took over for Lorentzen.
Yes, Svein, he needs to lay off that pitch right there. The one on the letters, and now unfortunately he's in the hole. He has to try and protect it, but that's what he was succumbed to his first at bat, and he's a better hitter than that. He's got to make an adjustment here against a top pitcher.
And Mohali goes to the rise ball. And you always know that a batter is not that comfortable at the plate when a pitch goes by and he stares at the umpire looking for his call. And got a piece of that, fouled it out of play. That's the beauty of this game, Chopper. You know what? One pitch you can look like you're disoriented, and then all of a sudden the next pitch you can take it up the middle for a base hit. So easy turnaround. That's why you've got to have a short memory. And again, late on that swing, but got enough of it to stay alive, did Svein.
Yeah, it was actually change up there, had his hands back, maybe just a little bit too long, but at least he didn't get fooled. But you know the high cheese is coming here, buddy.
That's what's been successful, and sure enough, he came with it, and it'll run the count now to 2-2.
It's fun. He's an intelligent hitter. He's making adjustments here.
And again, the battle rages on here with Svein and Mohali.
Yeah, he's got himself back in here in this ball game, and you know, I don't know if he was quite ready to hit the last time, but he's made the adjustments and he's making a competition of it, and he would really be wanting to get on base for his team here.
2-2, swing and a miss. So Mohali does his job and mows down Svein. And that will do it. 1, 2, 3 down go Denmark. So 3 out to get for Denmark. Last chance for Botswana when we come back.
So back here as we get set for the bottom of the 7th inning. Lance Wynn alongside my guy Chopper here with the Sports Canada TV crew in full effect. It'll be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. And it'll be Motusi Chalobani to lead things off here for Botswana. Needing a run here. And he looks at a called ball outside. So Kim Hansen has been outstanding, as has starter Mohali for Botswana, and that pitch is in there for a strike. So a lot of shuffling going around in that batter's box from Shalobani. Needs to be a little more stationary, and that's always hard to say when it's the 7th inning. And managed to get a piece of that, but his feet were stationary finally, and hence the reason why he got a bit of it. Not enough, but more than he got the last time when he was doing the UTEP two-step. And that ball is fouled. So 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Hansen trying to shut the door and preserve this 1-0 win. And it looks like, actually, sorry, I keep saying Shalobani, but it is not. There's a pinch hitter, and down he goes. So that was actually Moses Kosimori, as he is the first out of the 7th inning, and that'll bring up Romeo Shalamatsi. So Shalamatsi now 1 for 2 with a single, looks at a strike. And no other at-bats the same as it is when you're down a run in the 7th, as way late on that pitch. I will say this, if you look at the body language of Hansen, you would swear that we were in the 1st or 2nd inning. Looks very cool. He's throwing the same now in the 7th as he did in the earlier innings, and has remained composed throughout this ball game, and he's got that 1-run lead. And that pitch looked good, looked like it might have caught the lower part of the strike zone, but home plate umpire Darryl Helmer says and the count now 1-2. And a swing and a miss. So Hansen now 1 out away from preserving this 1-0 win, and it'll be Obusui Lakotu with a chance here, and it was Lakotu that doubled and stole a base in the 5th, but was left stranded at 3rd when the bags were full.
I'll tell you what, it's Kim the Iceman Hansen. He's showing no emotion whatsoever. You know, he's only 1 out away from a great victory here, one that he'll remember for a long time at a World Cup, and he's played outstanding. But, you know, that last strikeout, he just gone about his business.
11 strikeouts up to this point here, and he misses with a rise ball up to run the count even at 1-1. So 15 strikeouts for Mohali. 11 here for Hansen, and looking for more as he picks that outside corner quite nicely to run the count to 1-2.
I see Nihoy at second base playing up the middle here. Not too sure I'm happy about that, but.
And just got a piece of that, did Lakotu.
Lakotu drove one down the line last at bat, but none of this show and slap stuff that he's doing right now. He needs to get away from that and just have a nice tidy swing.
And that pitch lifted up, and the question is, will it stay in play? And it's just outside on the other side of the fence. So
1 feet away from a great victory right there, Lance, and it's one of those things, a game of inches, right? And Hansen, hopefully, and he stays the way he has been and blocks that, and as he walks back to his post and goes on, and he's ahead of the count anyway.
Well, he's all business here. 1 strike away from wrapping this one up. And a nibble, but no bite. So Lakotu, of course, pretty pleased with that pitch being outside, and the count now 2-2. So big battle going on here. Botswana trying to keep their hopes alive. And again, Hansen missing down and out to run the count full. It's got to start with a base runner as Lakotu is primed and ready to go. A lot of shuffling, though, in that batter's box. And a swing and a miss. So Hansen completes the strikeout. An even dozen strikeouts the side to end it, and that'll do it. 1-0 the final here, and a well-played ball game, Chopper. And when you look at it, you got to talk about the guys in the circle, in particular the performance from Kim Hansen.
Yeah, look, I'm so glad he finished that game with a strikeout, and to be honest with you, it was quite a scary one too, because the hitter up there, he wanted a ball to hit that was inside or in the middle of the plate, and that's what the catcher Jorgensen asked for. He said, just throw it right down here, man, just give it to me. And Kim Hansen said, yeah, I'll give it to you right, and he just threw it straight past that bat there, and he deserves that strikeout, and he deserves a famous victory, not only for these bunch of guys here, but for the whole of Denmark. And it's great to see the supporters are in the grandstand, because right there, that is a big win for them, and another win coming in that Pool B, top 4, here they come.
So all of a sudden now, sitting at 2-1 is Denmark, falling to 1-2 is Botswana. We're going to give our our ballpark broadcasting player of the game award to Kim Hansen for a 12 strikeout performance. 1-0 the final. That's going to do it for us here. Stick around. Lots of ball coming ahead. We've got the Czech Republic against Venezuela. And then at 7 o'clock, make sure you tune in Canada, United States. Of course, for everyone at Sports Canada TV, Ballpark Broadcasting, my partner Chopper, I'm Lance Wynn. We will see you on the flip side tomorrow.